Welcome back to Pimp My Setup. Today we're taking a look at some teenager setups. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now. Hello everybody, my name's Matt Philly and this is episode number 12 of Pimp My Setup. Be sure to hit that like button because it really does help. If you want to submit your setup, then head on over to pimpmysetup.com. With that said, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. This episode of Pimp My Setup is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. With tons of styles to choose from, you can keep your wallet as slim as possible while still carrying your essentials. You can fit up to 12 cards and choose a cash strap, money clip, or both. The Ridge Wallet blocks RFID, it's backed by their lifetime warranty, and there are free returns within 45 days. They also carry many other essentials like the Summit knife, as well as phone cases, bags, and more. Check out the Ridge Wallet by clicking the link in the description. All right, let's get into the first setup of the day, submitted by Ryan. He's 16 years old and uses his setup for gaming, school, and video production. Right off the bat, if I had to guess the age of the person who owned this setup, I wouldn't say 16, and that's definitely a compliment. However, I do think there are a few things that could be fixed. Although the tabletop is really nice, you shouldn't try cramming everything on top of it, including the PC, your Xbox, the controllers, the headphones. These are all things that could be placed in other spots, which would then kind of make your setup look a little bit nicer and improve on your usability. I could nitpick on little details like, hey, the cable management isn't really perfect, but that doesn't bother me. More than anything, I think adding personality and then working on your usability will completely transform the setup. If you were to actually just rearrange just a little bit, I think your score would be 10 points higher. So not bad at all for 16. I really think it's a badass setup and I like the idea you're going for, but rearrange, kind of look at it from a different angle. Ryan scored an 8, 8, 7, 8, and 7, making his final score a 76. The next setup of the day is submitted by Mel. He's 18 years old and uses his setup for gaming, editing, and school. This setup is quite interesting to me. For one, I would really like to know how important that laptop is to you because you have a PC right next to it. So is the laptop more of a, hey, look, I have a laptop? Or is it, wow, I actually need to use my PC and laptop at the same time almost always? The reason I say that is because you've pushed yourself so far to the left side that your speakers are behind your monitor when really you don't need to do that. You take the laptop off and you have all this extra space, much more breathability. Your left hand isn't like hanging off the side of the desk when you're using your keyboard. Just seems a bit odd. Even more so, you could put the PC onto the floor and have that right side of the desk for your laptop. So again, kind of weird. The wire management definitely isn't terrible. You did some really nice things, but again, if the PC was on the floor, you probably wouldn't have to be routing all these USB cables and things to the top that kind of look a bit weird. There's also not a lot of accessories and, you know, for instance, you have speakers, but you're not even using them properly. So yeah, this could easily be fixed just like the last one if you were to rearrange a little. Mel scored a 7, 8, 6, 8, and 8, making his final score a 74. The next setup is submitted by Mike. He's 20 years old and uses his setup for streaming and university work. This setup is honestly pretty awesome. First and foremost, Saturdays are for the boys, right? But look at this theme. Off the wall, a lot of different accessories. It's got a cool vibe. It just seems like an awesome place to hang out. But even more importantly, the actual setup itself is clean, it's functional. I think he did a great job. I think the case is interesting. The usability is nice. The accessories are there. The wire management isn't terrible. There's just little things that I would change. You know, for instance, having your console, the PlayStation 4 on the floor, maybe not ideal. Little things like that. You have dual setups basically, so I like that. The speakers aren't covered by the monitors, like little things like that. It's hard when you have the back of the desk open to people, right? Because now you have all these cables, they're gonna be seen, so you have to figure out how you want to approach that. And we can see them, but they're routed, and that's nice. And in my opinion, that's all you need to do. So I really think this is a cool hangout spot, and all things considered, I think he did a pretty damn good job with it. Mike scored an 8, 8, 9, 8, and 10, making his final score an 86. The next setup of the day is submitted by Vincent. He's 18 years old and uses his setup for Photoshop and gaming. So we just jumped from like a man cave bro hangout spot to a very relaxing, homey kind of vibe. This, yes, could also be a man cave, but a very different man cave. The other one made me want to like go jump on a plastic folding table, and this one just makes me want to chill and maybe watch a movie. And I like that. And that says a lot about the person, and it says a lot about the setup. Although the room looks awesome, the desk again is not being utilized properly. You're forcing yourself to sit on the far right side. You have the monitor so far pushed forward. You have no wrist room for your keyboard. So you're really kind of uncomfortable. You could center yourself to the desk. You could also bring that monitor back and really make it a more ergonomic setup. You could put the laptop with the little cable box underneath your desk. You get a little stand or a little table piece and put it all there, and it's out of sight, out of mind, still functional. Now, it's not even like you're using the display on the laptop. We could see in the one photo, you're not even touching it. So in my opinion, it just seems like a pointless thing to have your laptop up there. Now, I can understand putting the cable box underneath and leaving the laptop there. That could be fine, but you gotta center yourself a little more, and you gotta make sure it's usable, because having your wrists curled up on the edge of the desk like that is not ideal. And yeah, it's not a deep desk, but you're forcing yourself with how far forward that monitor is. So little things like that kind of trigger me. Don't get me wrong, your cable management is great and I can really appreciate that. But if it's taking away from your usability, then I don't know if it's ideal. But again, the room is super cool. Yeah, it's really badass, but I'm so focused on the actual desk part that it takes away from the rest of the room. Vincent scored a 9, 8, 7, 8, and 9, making his final score an 82. The final setup of the day is submitted by Bobby. He's 16 years old and uses his setup for gaming, video editing, and digital art. Alrighty then. Well, this setup, I don't even know where to begin. First and foremost, nice. You have an IKEA Signum, but yeah, you have an IKEA Signum. It's nice that you're routing things through there, but you also just kind of let it look a little crazy. So I would kind of tighten up a little there and it would look much better. I don't know if your monitors are purposely social distancing, but they shouldn't be. They should actually be touching. So fix that. And then also, if you're going to keep it in that arrangement, you should have the right one be dead center and then keep that left one tilted off to the left-hand side. That way the usability is a little more ideal. Personality, yeah, I mean, great job there. Definitely add some LEDs to the PC, kind of adds a little bit of fun. And yeah, you have a big desk, kind of lacking some accessories. So I would add there headphone stand, maybe get some speakers. Yeah, I don't know. There's really not a lot going on here. I like the fan. The fan is really, yeah, you know what? The fan is really nice. I like the fan. Honestly though, I don't think there's much wrong with this setup. It's just at first it's like, oh, okay, this guy's weird because his monitors aren't touching. But if you just fix that, really not a bad setup. Maybe throw some paint on the wall under your desk and call it a day. Bobby scored a 7, 7, 6, 7, and 9, making his final score a 72. Taking a look at the scoreboard, today's winner is Mike with a score of 86, and in last place is Bobby with a score of 72. That's it for this episode of Pimp My Setup. Be sure to give this video a like, and if you want your setup to be featured, then head on over to pimpmysetup.com. With that said, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.